Sam Valentino, Private Toon Detective here, and I've got a few more updates I found, both regarding the animation world and regarding a bit of my capering. First off, I heard that animators strike is still going on after Warner Brothers Discovery went and basically canceled the newer Cartoons shorts program at Cartoon Network Studios, a spiritual successor to the What a Cartoon program for 1995, with the shorts that got completed being shelved and not released to the public. And the new and upcoming artists and animators involved with said shorts tried to sell the project off to other studios and networks like Nickelodeon, and got threatened by Warner Brothers as a result. So as part of the strike, the union recently picketed outside the Warner Brothers lot. Good for them. The public needs to know how badly Warner Bros. Discovery has been treating animation. Also, the Day the Earth Blew Up movie is still scheduled for a theatrical release in 2025. I'm not sure if it's going to be a wide release, or one of those limited runs. Of course, I'm in cahoots with a few guys, and so if it doesn't get a theatrical release in my area, I can still see it, though it kinda won't be the same. Also, a few months ago, the executives at Warner Bros. Discovery did admit that mergers like this aren't working, and there's been talk for a while that they'll split up again. I should hope so, and that corrupt mug David Zaslav is kept away from WB, given all the damages he's done. Good. Then that means maybe they can finally release my motion picture, Coyote vs. Acme. I hope my sign here is also helping spread awareness. I hope so too, Wile E. And as you may have seen, he accompanied me and Zach Wolf to Furpocalypse some time ago. Some of our friends were indeed on his side. Also, while I was at Furpoc, I did a little more snooping around, and also found out that Copley, the anther New England deer who supposedly disappeared, was sighted there. But he took off when the others called his name. This is getting tricky. I'm also still wondering if David Zaslav had anything to do with Copley's disappearance, given how much he dislikes us Toons. But besides that, I still had a good time there, meeting with some friends I already know, and some of Zach Wolf's friends he's known for nearly a while. Even my old friend Bonkers D. Bobcat came to Furpoc, a fellow orangey crime-fighting Toon. But of course, my being a private detective is different from him actually being a cop, but we still stand for justice. I even participated in my first fursuit games competition after Zach Wolf had done so numerous times, and it was a pretty crazy occasion. I was even on a team of a bunch of furlings, which is what I call kids fursuiting at cons and such, based on that Once Upon a Forest animated movie. Moving along, it's been all over the internet that for the holiday season, MeTV Toons will be running Caillou's holiday movie for 2003 on Christmas Day. Yes, I know, Caillou on MeTV Toons. But at least it's not the bratty early version who wore a gray shirt. By 2003, Caillou is now a big goody-goody softy wearing a yellow shirt. Also probably stemmed from Video Broadcasting and Warner Bros. Discovery's deal with Wild Brain, since they also run some Deke programming like Inspector Gadget and Alf Tales. And also Wild Brain currently owns the Rocky and Bullwinkle franchise. And so to celebrate the holidays, they're showing some Christmas specials Wild Brain owns, such as Inspector Gadget Saves Christmas for 1992, A Hollywood Hound's Christmas for 1994, even Sonic Christmas Blast for 1996, the animated holiday special for the infamous Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog series. Of course, I'm normally on to Christmas like Zach Wolf is. Though as they're airing newer stuff of the century, MeTV Toons does show the Duck Dodgers animated series, and those 2003 Looney Tunes shorts that were supposed to be released theatrically. And the Warner executives thought they were so bad, Cartoon Network and Boomerang refused to air them. They never saw American airtime until MeTV started showing the Looney Tunes at the start of 2021. I know they did air on the now-defunct Teletoon in Canada in the mid to late 2000s, and Boomerang also now runs them too. And also starting in December, MeTV Toons will be showing Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, aka the right way to do a dark, edgy, and violent Scooby-Doo series, compared to that Velma adult party cartoon. Running from 2010 to 2013, this will probably be the newest thing they show so far. I certainly hope that MeTV Toons will rate it TV PG, since I remember Cartoon Network and Boomerang rated it TVY7 at V, despite it containing PG levels of violence and scary scenes and innuendos and the like. It was just like when Boomerang reran Wait Till Your Father Gets Home, that adult animated series Hanna-Barbera produced for prime time in the 1970s. It contains a lot of PG material that definitely warrants it as not suitable for kids. Not as raunchy as Family Guy or Bob's Burgers, but still pretty mature for today's standards. And MeTV Toons rightfully rates it TV PG when they rerun it on Sunday nights. Of course, as I said in a prior video, MeTV Toons generally isn't for kids, but for older people who grew up with those kind of cartoons, like Zach. Though if the viewing adults have kids or grandkids, I'm sure from time to time the kids may want to join them in watching, and they'd be more than happy to, as long as it's appropriate, compared to Wait Till Your Father Gets Home specifically being made for adults. It's even more mature than the early seasons of the Flintstones, since that was also originally made for prime time and initially geared towards adults, which is why Winston Cigarettes was originally one of the sponsors. Heck, there was some controversy when Wait Till Your Father Gets Home was on the air, because people couldn't believe there was a cartoon made for adults airing on TV. Keep in mind, this was the 1970s, when the public still had that general consensus that animation was just kids stuff. And it didn't help the show was produced by Hanna-Barbera, a studio largely known for making Saturday morning cartoons for kids at the time. Of course, all that changed after the success of Who Framed Roger Rabbit in 1988, leading to The Simpsons getting their own TV series the following year. And that was also largely geared towards adults, but at least back then it had some kid appeal, compared to Wait Till Your Father Gets Home, which was more or less like a precursor to Family Guy or something. I got a wild hunch that Seth MacFarlane was greatly influenced by Wait Till Your Father Gets Home and creating Family Guy. Maybe also to Mike Judge in creating King of the Hill, since both shows featured a lead character having a friend who was kind of a kooky conspiracy theorist. Also, the original Johnny Quest could be pretty violent, especially since it was made for ABC's primetime programming in 1964, before later moving to Saturday mornings for reruns. And that was when parents began to complain. The show even has villains getting shot to death, in some cases on screen. Even that infamous moment in Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated where someone gets gunned down, that was a partial reference to the off-screen villain deaths Johnny Quest often did. And MeTV Toons rated Johnny Quest TVG, as even with the 1960s television violence, it's somewhat tamer than Wait Till Your Father Gets Home. And even Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated. MeTV Toons even rates reruns of certain older theatrical cartoon series like the Looney Tunes TV PG. And for good reason, because those cartoons originally largely made for what were considered general theatrical audiences in the 1940s and 1950s, with plenty of stuff to appeal to adults. And there's somewhat less censorship on those shorts than there was at Cartoon Network or Boomerang or Nickelodeon or on network television and regular syndication. Sure, they still cut out any really offensive stereotypes and a few certain suicide gags once in a while, but otherwise everything else like violence and dark humor and dangerous behavior are left intact. Especially since, like I said, the channel's mostly meant for older audiences. Same with when the cartoons are shown on regular MeTV as part of the Tune In With Me and Saturday morning blocks. But enough about cartoon violence and adult themes. As I said, the holiday season will be here soon, and I'm guessing you may have heard that the Rankin Christmas classic, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, will be leaving CBS and going back to NBC, where it originally aired from 1964 to 1971. But Frosty the Snowman is also leaving CBS as well, and that special's aired on CBS since its debut in 1969. Of course, I know why they're doing this. Comcast owns those two specials through Classic Media, a subsidiary of NBC Universal, and so it's a no-brainer that NBC would start airing them. I'm reminded of last year when Shrek the Halls left ABC to start airing on the Peacock network, Because again, DreamWorks is owned by Comcast and NBC Universal. But of course, back then, DreamWorks wasn't owned by them when Shrek the Halls was made in 2007 and premiered on ABC. And it remained there every holiday season. Even after the Halloween special Scared Shrekless got kicked off ABC in favor of Pixar's Toy Story of Terror, since ABC's a Disney company, but Toy Story of Terror doesn't even have anything to do with Halloween. But that holiday was a month ago. CBS has been struggling due to Paramount Global's financial woes. They're also not broadcasting the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade for that reason. And it's too bad, because their coverage of the parade was a lot better than NBC's. Actually focusing on the parade and balloons and such, with fewer musical numbers that were actually performed on stage for real, compared to all those constant cheesy lip-sync musical numbers that take up much of NBC's broadcasts of the parade. And the Peacock network largely treats the balloons as a minor side event compared to the musical shows and such. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles aren't happy that they're virtually ignored in favor of the Radio City Rockettes being treated as the stars of the parade. Since when did those leggy dames ever save New York City from supervillains? But going back to the Rankin Bass specials, I know in addition to those annual network broadcasts, they also now air on Freeform as part of their 25 Days of Christmas celebration. And as for CBS's unofficial sequel, Frosty Returns, that won't be airing on TV again anytime soon. CBS owns it because they produced it, with Bill Melendez directing the animation and Mark Mothersbaugh doing the music, resulting in a bizarre combination of Peanuts-esque animation and Rugrats music. Of course, the real sequel, Frosty's Winter Wonderland, originally aired on ABC in 1976. And now that's just buried on the Island of Misfit Rankin Bass specials, AMC's best Christmas ever lineup. Even though Frosty's Winter Wonderland and Frosty Returns both have practically nothing to do with Christmas. But I guess that covers it for now. I'm still hoping I'll be able to pay my pending bills. But if you want to help a little, since some of these videos are now monetized, keep watching me through this YouTube channel to see what goes on here next. And I've also got this ready to help me get through the holiday season.